Well, slightly different backdrop, same couch, different place, different city. We moved.
Same husband.
What?
Unfortunately. Stick around, we are covering September's beers and budgeting in this episode. Hey, what's up guys? It's Justine with Debt Free Millennials, the channel to help you crush your debt and live payment free. This is my husband, Kyle.
Hello.
Every single month we go over our real income and real expenses. And I'm so glad you are tuning into this episode because this month is different than our normal income and expenses because we moved. There are different things that this unit requires versus what we had. And so you're going to see that reflected in our budget. And this is the first time that I actually
You're scaring me.
What?
You're like, we bought a bunch of other stuff.
No, I'm
Are we scared? I'm scared. Are you scared?
I'm not scared anymore, but this was the first time that I actually felt like I was panicked enough to think, when is the next time you're going to get paid?
Yeah, I remember that.
Like, I have not felt this type of financial stress in a long time where I was thinking, when are you going to get paid next? And the reason why I'm focused on Kyle's paycheck is because he's a W-2 income earner and I'm not. I'm self-employed. So there's only so much that I can put in. In some months, it's not always the same. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. We didn't even introduce the beers. We got to do that first before we get into the stress.
Yeah, I'm getting amped up just listening to you. Whew, finances can be stressful, right, folks?
We're getting into the spooky Halloween October month, so yeah.
Well, I'm drinking mine out of a brewmate, but I'm drinking the Indian Pale Ale Extended Getaway by Pizza Port, which is a delicious beer.
I have the King Harbor Brewing Company, and this is the Tropical IPA with Citra and Mosaic. This is the Tiki Hut IPA out of Redondo Beach. So this is now a local beer out of LA, which is where we're at currently. If you missed our big announcement video, be sure to check that out. I will link to that up here in the cards. That was a big announcement, thus the reasoning why we have such a discrepancy in our budget right now. We've had a couple of shaken, not stirred beers, and so they've kind of been crazy.
Okay, so I think it must be just this beer, because this has happened to every beer that I've opened of that kind.
What the hell?
I don't know what happened to those beers, but it's just those. It's just those.
Okay, weird.
Okay.
Where do I even start? Should we go ahead and jump into the budget?
That's what beers and budgeting is, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So first off, let's set it up. So this is September. What day did we move?
We moved September 16th. Today, at the time of this recording, is October 16th. So
Right.
it's been a month.
Yes. So does our budget cover old rent and new rent and like the deposits and all that stuff?
I have it recorded here separately in a box.
Okay. Well, let's get into the details. But bottom line up front, I love using bottom line up front. We planned for $11,000 to be brought in. We actually brought in $13,716.78, which is actually like, I'll take it. And our expenses were only $7,415.99, leaving us left over $5,200 and change. That's a really good month.
Looks good.
Oh. ... Oh, come on. Can we just stop the video now before the pain hurts?
Yeah. The moving costs are separated out from the budget. Let's just go over this, okay? Because the weird thing is getting into the rent. $321. Man, I wish my rent was $321 every month. That would be awesome. Maybe I should jump ahead and go into the moving costs.
Oh, you wrap that into moving cost. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Let's, because that's so confusing.
Yeah, that is very confusing. Okay, we moved from San Diego to LA. We moved in the middle of our lease, which meant we had to do a lease break with our San Diego unit. and also prorate the rent that we paid in San Diego because we moved in the middle of the month. So it's interesting because the lease break was equal to 1.5 times our rent.
After we'd already given them $235,000 in total after 7 years, they still weren't cool about it.
Yeah. So it was the lease break of 1.5 times our rent plus the prorated rent of 16 days. And then we also, in return, if everything looked kosher, we got our security deposit back. Our security deposit in 2015 was equal to 1 month's rent, which at that time was $2,695,
Okay.
$2,700. Anyway, we had paid the lease break and I thought the prorated rent. It was like over $7,000. I think I have this all in the debit. Yeah. It was $7,237.50. Fast forward a couple weeks, we actually got a check in the mail from our property manager for $4,021. So something's not adding up to me. And then we had our regular, so we paid $32.16 for the prorated plus the lease break minus the security deposit. We had a $1,000 credit of miscellaneous moving allowance from Kyle's new employer, which was credited to us in September. Then we had to pay prorated LA rent, which was $22.40. Then we did a payout for our childcare in San Diego. We paid for cleaning to be done in our San Diego apartment. Do I have to explain the emergency flight for my sister?
Yes, you do. It was the most difficult week of my life.
This was a very stressful month because I went to FinCon, which I am talking about in a different video. Went to FinCon, and then because of FinCon, I got COVID. I tested positive for COVID 2 days before the movers showed up to pack us up and move us to LA. And so I had to quarantine away from Kyle and Quinn. And so Kyle's like, I don't think I can do this by myself, having a 1-year-old and movers.
Yeah, that was...
And I was like, I don't feel comfortable with you doing this by yourself. That's a lot. So SOS, my sister came out and we paid for her ticket in order to do that. And I'm so thankful we had money in our vacation fund in order to cover that, because that's where that money came from. We also had a travel reimbursement of $316 because Kyle stayed at a hotel up here in LA before we officially moved into our LA unit. And then he also got paid out a bonus for starting at his new job. And then he also got a payout from unused vacation time from his old job, which really saved our butts because so much money was going out. And the one thing that I don't have in here or accounted for, I'm not sure if this happened in September. Oh, I think it did, is the deposit, the security deposit for this unit.
Yeah, which was what?
Which was $5,000. So I've got to add that in here. This is where it gets kind of messy and why this is not our normal beers and budgeting and why I have this off to the side, because it's so different than what our norm is. Now let me see when that went through. I'm pretty sure that was September. It was August because that's what we needed to pay in order to like get the application. We filed the application, then they required the deposit in order to be approved. So yeah, that actually was in August. Anyway, regardless, that's what's included there too. A lot of money going out, but a lot of money coming in.
I'm kind of throwing my hands up at all.
I know.
I'm just like, it was such a whirlwind with the move and you being sick and trying to manage a toddler and all that stuff that I was like, as long as my credit card goes through, I don't care.
I literally took, and I do not advise anybody to use this method, but I literally was like, do we still have money in the checking account? Because that's what it felt like. I think in hindsight, when we go through our next move, I think looking back, I wished we would have had like a separate sinking fund for moving. But that's the thing, like the next place we're going to be buying, there's going to be costs associated with that too. And that's why we have the down payment and all of those savings accounts set up. But I just felt a little scrambled and I felt a lot of financial stress.
Yeah.
Because our checking account got down to like this much of a margin and I was like, when are you getting paid next? When can we increase that? And now it's back up to normal, above normal. I don't know. It was really scary for me.
Felt like old times for me.
Elaborate more for people when you say old times.
Oh man, I think all of us have been. You're watching this channel because you're struggling with the finances, so I'm going to assume that all of us at some point have been checking our accounts with almost daily to make sure that you have money in there to buy food and stuff. I mean, I remember being in those days. That was not fun.
Yeah.
So there's like a little familiarization. Never close to being that bad, but because I knew money was coming. Like I knew whatever it was, all we needed to do was just transfer money and we'd be fine. It wasn't like I didn't have an extra account to transfer money in. Like back in the day, that was like I looked at my checking account and that's the money I had. There was no like emergency fund. There was no savings account. It was like that's the money I had. And that's a different feeling.
Yeah, so true.
So I see some other red on the screen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So aside from this...
being weird.
Yeah, I don't even know what to put here then. Do I do the 32.16?
That's what I would do.
Yeah, groceries was way over. Mainly because we offloaded so much food in San Diego, we couldn't actually drive up like frozen and refrigerated stuff, only a small amount. Mm-hmm. So I was restocking a lot of stuff from Costco. That Costco bill was insane. It was close to $600 for a Costco trip here. Yeah. And then, gas, we were over a little bit. You drove up here. Another thing that came out, but as part of our sinking fund income, was our car insurance. And I made a note here that this went up because it used to be $368, now it's $404.
That's a big jump.
Yeah, so
maybe they're recouping their costs, because I remember when they lowered car insurance during the pandemic because no one was driving. Mm-hmm. And so I'm wondering if they're recouping those losses now.
Perhaps. But isn't it like the older your car is, the less in insurance you pay?
Yeah, they have annual rate changes and all that stuff.
Okay.
But I mean, you can look into it all you want to. I won't say it too loudly, but it seems like a lot of companies have record profits right now.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
That could easily be it.
Yeah. So that was kind of a hit on us. We're like, oh, but the sinking fund, so it cancels each other out. The nanny, we had obviously didn't pay for a full month because we left in the middle of the month. So that's done. Then fun money. The shopping was way over. Wow. Mainly because we got in here and we were like, okay, we need a different curtain rod. We need this. We need that.
A rug.
A rug.
A very expensive rug.
It was a $400 rug from Wayfair.
We all know how I feel about that.
No, we don't. Tell us.
I'm not a rug guy. I'm like looking at $100 rugs on Amazon going, that one will do.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, look at this one that I spent 9 hours looking up and finding.
So the difference between you and me when it comes to moving into new places is when you move into a new place, you like to have everything hung up, ready to go. You want to be unpacked and feel settled as soon as possible.
Yeah. We had this whole place. We didn't have any boxes left after a week of moving in. I was like, we're getting rid of every piece of cardboard I can see.
Yeah.
And I did it. It was awesome. We did it. It was great.
Yeah, it was great. However, I need some more time to figure out where I want things hung up on the wall, what kind of rug I want, how I want the kitchen to be organized. I need some time. I'm not a fast decision maker with some of those things. And I think that really started to get wear on you because you're like, I just want to make a decision and I want things up on the wall.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm like, no, let me think about this. We still have time I want to make this right. I don't want to rush this decision. So knowing that, when we buy our house, I'm definitely, as soon as that deal is done, I'm going to be like, okay, this is exactly where I want it hung up on the walls, even before we move in.
But that's different because our hope is that the next place we go, we actually buy a house.
It's not a hope. It's a guarantee.
I don't even know what I can't even respond to that with the way the housing market's going on right now.
Yeah,
I could get on a Kyle soapbox right now and just pontificate for the next half hour about housing. Anyways, the next one, because we will hopefully be owners, I want to take more time moving in. I want to okay, I don't want to have to rearrange this. We're still renting. I know everything's temporary. I'm like, just slap it together or just shove it in a closet. Like, I don't care because it's all temporary. Hopefully, eventually.
I mean, we said that about San Diego. We were in that unit for 7 years. That's more than most people can spend in a home. It's funny.
So, when you move, decorations can be very expensive.
Yes.
Functional decorations is what I'll categorize them as.
Sure.
Like, I'm already predicting the end of the video, but like, I think the rest of the budget should maybe go towards like finishing moving in.
Yeah.
Not that I want to throw all of that's not permission for you to go out and buy more rugs and stuff. Half that's at least going to go towards golf.
Oh boy. You know what? I was looking at that because fund money, there were a couple of golf things. You know, you and your mom went out and did Torrey Pines, which
that was
I think was
a special once in a lifetime kind of event.
That's an incredible memory that you guys will have and say like, yes, we did Torrey Pines. It's so cool. But I was thinking about that. I was like, we've been up in LA for a month and you haven't gone on a single golf outing. Not that we've really had time for that, but
haven't had time, haven't had energy.
Yeah. And there's a Top Golf here.
Yeah, I can look out the window and see a Top Golf.
And we're like, oh my God, Top Golf. Okay, so shopping, a lot of Amazon. You're gonna see this. Look at this. Target, Amazon, Walgreens, Amazon, blah, 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 Target. So we kind of went apeshit on Target or on Amazon because of all of the stuff that we bought for this place. Also, I think actually some of that was from my birthday present. Did you buy some of my birthday present in September?
I had to.
Yeah, okay. My birthday's in October. Just celebrated it a couple of days ago, actually, and Kyle surprised me with this amazing birthday gift. He got me the complete cosplay costume set for Gamora of Guardians of the Galaxy. And
she's been talking about this for like 5 years now, wanting to like get a real Gamora outfit.
Yeah, I've talked about it because I'm like, I could totally pull off her look because she's got the dark, long hair. Yeah. She's slender, petite, you know, so I was like, oh, I could totally play her. And he could play Peter Quill. Huh? And then we're like, oh, what about Quinn? She could be Baby Groot. I was like, this is great. I love this family themed costume, and I never acted on it. So he went and got the costume, and you got yourself the Peter Quill Star-Lord set. Anyway, that's part of, I think, what the shopping money came from too.
Okay, that would make sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it was not a cheap gift.
Nope.
That's the thing about sharing our finances like this. Whenever we buy gifts for each other, we're pretty much going to find out how much it costs. Yeah. Sooner or later.
I'm so close to like having gift accounts.
You know, the longer and longer that we do this, the more and more I'm like, I like that idea.
Well, but we still have a shared Amazon account. So if I want to buy something off Amazon, it doesn't even matter if I have a separate gift account. It's still going to show up in the same thing, and then you got to hide it, and you can't get notifications on your phone. It's like,
yeah, that's true.
I wish Amazon had like this is a gift for someone with this account, like hide this. Wish there was a button in Amazon to do that.
Jeff Bezos, I mean, you made enough profits.
You made a rocket.
Yeah, you robbed from all of us and now are still increasing the annual subscription of Amazon Prime. Guess what? It's going up another $20 next year. Why don't you just go ahead and add that as a feature? So that's shopping, was mainly just getting ourselves situated in the new place. So now that I know that, when we move, I'm like, we absolutely need like a house decor, like move-in budget, whatever that we label it, that's what it needs to be.
Cool.
Let's go into our savings, because we actually still had automated savings contributions go out in September, which actually, because I got so nervous, I ended up temporarily pausing for October because I was like, I just need to stop the extra investing, extra savings right now, just so I know that we are okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Robinhood.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt. The markets have been terrible.
Ooh.
$18,349.40.
Ooh, that does hurt.
I have most of my money on the sidelines. I still have almost all of it on the sidelines, but what little I had in just did that bad.
Okay, mine also went down. Eesh. $4,148.16.
WEBULL, ooh, ouchie, $1,567.78. Are those SEPs, IRAs, and all that, are they updated?
No, I think I still need to update those.
Stash,
Yes, go for it.
$850.74.
Okay. Our vacation fund is up to date. $5,133.99. I did pull out the cost for that plane ticket for my sister to come out here and help us during the move. I pulled that out of the vacation fund, so that is up to date with that transfer.
Okay. So close to our goal.
Yeah, I gotta go into Vanguard and see what Vanguard did. Oh yeah, I haven't been recording the Jeep Wrangler fund. Guess what? We're still saving for our second car. Well, we hit our savings goal and then we stopped it. I pulled it off of the budget because we weren't actively saving towards it, but we're still earning interest on it. We have $40,524.85. So we can technically buy a $40,000 car outright because we took years to save for that. Literally, I think we started saving for that in 2017, 2018? 2018.
Yeah.
So
At some point we should,
at some point we will get a second car.
well,
God dang.
what?
We lost money in our brokerage account.
No, so we're further away.
Yeah, everything is,
Way down.
yeah. I lost about 4K here.
4K there. Just throwing out 4K losses everywhere.
Yeah, and then the Roth. Dang, if we still had a really good good month in the market, I think we would have easily touched 150 with the down payment.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. We're getting pretty close to what I feel like could be a recession, like a true, I don't know. I haven't looked this up in a long time, but there's an actual definition of what recession is.
Yeah.
Right. And so what's actually going to be happening in the next few months?
We also knew that because we wanted to save for the down payment so quickly, or that we were buying the house sooner than later, that we put 80% into cash, like liquid savings, into the high yield savings account, and then 20% into the brokerage account. Whereas before, I think it was more evenly split. Now we're pulling way more into cash and stockpiling that up as much as possible so that we are ready to go ahead and purchase that home when we get there. Hopefully. Sooner than later, please.
No,
okay.
You guaranteed it.
Oh, I did.
You guaranteed it.
Okay, so that's a look at September. It's been a wild month. We still had a little bit of money left over. It does not feel like that at all because so much money was going out. I definitely think we need to reserve this for figuring out what else we need to do to make sure we feel settled here.
I feel like the inflammation that occurred from moving is still there, and that'll be some good Tylenol to help keep me calm for a little while.
Oh yeah.
I would say that moving is terrible. I mean, you can move with Gandhi and Jesus, and it would still not be a pleasant experience. Like, moving itself is just so stressful with all the moving parts and all of your stuff and new environments and new people and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's always very stressful. So if you're thinking about moving soon, or you are moving soon, or whatever, just realize that and give yourselves a little bit of grace and like a couple of chill pills, and hopefully not COVID, because that'll always make things
that made things way worse for us, and that was really, really hard for me.
It made them worse for me. You were in a hotel just watching TV.
Yeah, he was like, enjoy it, you're by yourself. And I'm like, as a mother...
Yeah, but
like,
you didn't throw on top of this that our daughter was going through a sleep regression at the same time.
That's what I was going to add.
Getting up 3 or 4 times during the night while I was trying to get ready for all this move. And I was just like, I don't know what to do. I'm just going to pick you up and throw you in the bed with me. And I was just a walking zombie most of the time.
Yeah.
That was killer.
Yeah, we're still trying to get her back into her normal routine. And so that's been challenging for us as parents. It's just like getting sleep regulated for all of us.
Could use some.
Yeah, I know we're all really struggling with that. So we've been trying to give each other pep talks. Usually it's the person giving the pep talk is usually the one that feels more well rested.
Yeah, that's funny. That's a good observation.
Yeah, and that's when I usually feel more positive. I'm like, no, we got this. Like, I can do this.
Yeah, 8 hours of sleep, no problem. 5 hours of sleep, ooh.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we're rambling. Thank you for being here, looking at our real expenses of what it took for us to move here. Keep in mind, we didn't even include the actual moving costs that it took to have a moving truck with movers and boxes and packers and all that, because that was paid for from Kyle's employer. That is always 100% the way to go if you're trying to move, is to get your employer to pay for it. That
you should still do a breakdown of all that expense. I would still be curious to see what all that costs.
We appreciate you being here and joining us for this new chapter in our lives, but also continuing the journey of budgeting with us. The whole point of us sharing this and us moving to LA is to get to a point of more financial freedom and what we want for our family. We're just starting to grow our family, and now that we've done that, we feel that it's very important for us to live our lives in a way that allows more financial stability and more flexibility with the choices that we make with our money. And you're like, how the hell does LA help you with that? Stick around, keep watching these episodes, and you'll understand why we chose to make this sacrifice now, and hopefully that it will pay off in the future. Okay, that's it for this episode. We'll catch you in the next one. Be sure to give this a big thumbs up. Don't forget, the budget toolkit is always available for you to download for free in the description box below.
And subscribe.